Howdy, y'all. It's me, Dr. E, again. This time here to introduce our new theme, tailoring the message to an audience, and to go over some kind of key concepts for week 5. So, general outline for this video is kind of give you an update of where you should be. And then I'm going to kind of go over key concepts and then your key assignments that you need to submit this week, such as Project 1. So, buckle your seatbelts, put on your helmets, and let's dive on into it. I should say, please excuse me, I'm in my grungies. I got a bit of a head cold on Dayquil coffee, so I may be a little and I'm sorry about that, but I definitely want to try my best to get you key information to help y'all out. Okay, let's go. So, right now, you should be prepared to submit your Project 1. I mean, this is what this is really all about. And to get you organized for Project 2, your presentation. So a lot of you all have been emailing me, calling, FaceTiming. It's awesome. Getting extra insights, extra feedback on your projects, your ideas, your questions, your applications. Love it. Keep it coming, all right? Anything I can do to help you, hit those key things. I'm at your service. All right. So just keep that in mind. Let's talk about tailoring the message to an audience. So we got some key concepts here. Start off with the whole TED Talk by Pardis. Really awesome. Epidemiology, cool stuff. And it's, this whole example is all about helping you understand how she tailors her message to her audience, right? That's what the example is all about. I'm like, it's great that you can learn all about, insights into epidemiology, the Ebola outbreak, all that, right? But what is really of value here is her process, okay? How she connects to her audience. Okay, so that's kind of where we start off. Key to this is, you have to have a solid understanding of your concepts and terminology, right? And more importantly, are those things that your audiences know? All right? You can't go talk about Ebola to an audience that has no understanding of what it is or its significance. And you'll see that Pardis uses very specific tools to connect to her audience, to connect her message, right, her research, the value of it, to her specific audience. And it's kind of important to keep in mind, what information do you need to fully understand the complexity of your social science issue? And, once you have that, what are the concepts that need to be explained, all right? And this is where it's really important to keep your audience in mind. The concepts are going to be relative to any given audience, all right? So if your audience is a bunch of undergraduate students, you're going to need to explain the concepts for them to understand your thing. If your audience is the general public, you're going to have to explain the concepts inherent to your research so they can understand. And this is a balancing act, right? You don't want to be too heavy-handed, all right? You don't want to just regurgitate upon them. Like, I'm sorry for the visual, but you get my idea. It's a fine balance, okay? I would suggest striking, a middle ground, okay? That tends to be the best sort of approach. you're never going to be able to get it exactly perfectly. Okay, perfect is it's really about going through the process, taking the time to go through the steps to tailor it to your audience. Okay, I think I've said enough about that. What are some kind of key things that you can do? Well, personal connections. This is very important. Drawing personal connections between the audience and your specific social science issue, your problem. All right, and you can leverage that sort of information. If you're speaking to a very focused audience, right, you're going to be able to make more in-depth personal connections to them. If your audience is more broad, they're going to have to be more general connections. You see how that kind of works? And again, it's really all about understanding your audience and how to connect to them. You want to be able to explain the benefits of answering your question, right? Or other audiences might need extra help understanding how they are impacted, right? Like if your audience is the particular stakeholders that are involved in your issue, they're going to want to know how they're impacted, right? But you have to be careful about how you present that. You don't want to be like, this is going to do this, and this to you. No, right? Connect to them, right? Explain the value of it to them. Leverage those personal connections. Yeah. And of course, you have to be able to provide the necessary information to do so. Okay, next key thing, incorporation of resources. All right, this is vitally important. You have spent time doing initial literature review, a more focused literature review, refining your question, all right, or keeping it more broad, right? It's kind of a crossroads you can go there. But no matter what, you have to be able to connect, all right? Well, no, not connect, support your points with scholarly research. All right, that is fundamental. All right, so any key point you have to say about it, okay, you got to back it up. That means you have to have a specific scholarly source that does so. All right, and you need to present it. You need to connect your issue with the research, with the source, right, and explain that to your audience. Okay, and because audiences can change, like I'm always on the professional conference circuit. Okay, I'm always giving presentations at all these conferences all over the U.S. and internationally. And my research is constant. Right. My particular thing is I study how people use their natural resources. But anytime I give a presentation, I have to, kind of tweak what the audience is that I'm speaking to. Okay, I need to be able to connect to them, and I also have to kind of redo, the incorporation of resources. So if my audience is a bunch of students, all right, I'm going to use certain resources that speak to them. If my audience is a bunch of professionals, right, got PhDs, the works, okay, I'm going to use different sorts of resources to speak to them. Does that make sense? All right, so the resources you use are always relative to the audience you are speaking to. And the key is you always want to be persuasive, right? You always, take everything else that I've said here and plug this in. It's all about, tweaking your resources to your audience. Okay. There's very specific tools to do this. Our Mind Edge learning resource does a really excellent job of highlighting these, explaining them, and more importantly, where is it? It's in Learning Block 5.3, I forget the page, but there is a transcript of Pardis's narrative from her presentation, not the whole thing, just a chunk of it, right? And it uses color coding to highlight key tools she uses to connect to her audience, right? And the specific tools are using analogy, anecdotes, define and simplify, history, and visuals. All right, these are like the science of giving a presentation, if you would. All right, these are actually the specific tools you use to connect to your audience, to make your connections clear and meaningful. Okay, so I strongly suggest that you check out that transcript, right? Click all those highlighted bits. See the specific tool that she is using, where she is using it, and how she is using it. And apply it towards your own project. All right, here's the big, bad, evil thing for the week. APA format. So you've seen me in my feedback highlighting this since the start of term. I've posted about it. Now, all the kind of, I don't know how to do it, the break-in period is over. All right, everything is APA from now on. All right, take it to heart. If you don't know what it is, that means you got to go learn about it. It means you got to take the extra time to do so. I don't mean to sound harsh or anything. That's just how it is. So yeah, in the written portion of my announcement, I give a basic breakdown of what APA format is. All right. I also include the APA Bible, also known as the APA Appendix. It has absolutely everything, and then some, you could possibly want to know about APA formatting, including the actual formatting of your text, in-text citation, and full APA references. Okay. This is how you write as a professional, right? As a social scientist. And this is really important when it comes to your resources, the sources that you're using to support your points. Anytime you draw on a source, you must give credit to it, all right? Literally on a sentence-by-sentence basis, okay? There's a little wiggle room there, but that is the standard, okay? So anytime you draw on a source in your writing, you have to include an in-text citation to the source you are using, and that is usually just in parentheses at the end of the sentence, the author and date, close parenthesis, period. That's only half of it, though. Then you have to write out a full APA reference for said citation. That goes at the very end of your document in your references cited, bibliography, whatever you want to call it. They're pretty much all the same for our purposes. And that is where you provide all the detailed information in APA formatting for that resource, for that source. And that starts with the last name of the author or publishing, whoever published it, or created it. Sometimes it's a specific author. It might be from a professional organization, right? The date, the title of it, and where it was retrieved from. You should also include when it was retrieved from. Okay. Check out my announcements, my posts, and things like that. I include APA style in-text citation and full APA references. Look at them. They set a good example. This is what you need to do. And definitely dig into the APA appendix if you're having issues with it. Okay? Tip, if you're citing our text, check out my announcements. I literally have the full APA reference for it posted there, and you can copy and paste it. All right? Think smarter, not harder. Okay, that kind of covers basic concepts for the week. I just checked my time, 15 minutes. Now, let me dig into assignments. So, you got a discussion. Start with checking out my initial thoughts post. It's pinned, all right? I give extra details to further clarify and direct you for both your initial post and your 2 response posts. It's again, I've said this before, don't skimp on it, all right? The more you engage this, the more you participate in the discussion, the more you are going to get out of this class. That's how it works. Okay, not going to say much more anymore about discussion. Check out my initial thoughts post. Short responses. Okay, you got, how many are there? I think 5? I think there are 5. And what I really want to note here, I mean, they're pretty clear, but what I want to highlight to you is some of the questions have multiple questions within them, all right, such as question 1. It has many parts to it. Take the time to answer each of the questions within the question. Does that make sense? All right, don't skimp on it. Question 2, you need to identify specific evidence. ID it, explain it, all right? Use APA-style citation. Let's see here. Yeah, it's due Sunday. Same back to discussions. Initial post by end of Thursday. 2 responses by end of Sunday. Short responses, all due by the end of Sunday. Project 1. This is the meat of the week. And you'll see I have actually have multiple checklists for you. I have a full chart taken from our MindEdge resource, which identifies the key theme, the learning block, and the critical element that you need to specifically respond to. So you can literally use this to make sure you have everything. Just go through it. Of course, draw on all the feedback I have provided you from the start of term. Okay, that means all emails, discussion posts, phone calls, Skypes, FaceTimes, all of it. All right, because every step of the way, I have been trying to help you move forward with each step of the process, and I've given you very specific feedback to help you do so. So apply it. You can check out the rubric and guidelines. I also include the Project 1 checklist. Use it, right? Go through it. If any of those things outlined in the checklist are not on point, revise and, try again. That is the process, right? We take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 forward, 1 back. And that's just the nature of the beast. If you pursue academia, it never ends. And I have a link to submit due into Sunday. Next week, we continue with, helping you with your presentation, how to engage your audience, dig into incorporating evidence, editing, creating your narrative, and creating slides to engage your audience. Fun times. Of course, if you have any issues, any questions, any concerns, anything at all, anything that you think I can help you with, contact me. All right? I don't bite. I promise. You can email, you can call, you can FaceTime me. We can set up a Skype. Whatever you need. Post to the general questions forum. All right? Whatever you need, I'm your person. That's where I'll leave this, and I hope you all have a great week. Take care, and see you in the discussion boards.